into the scene before the 2021 municipal elections. They did manage to get quite a number of votes in that election, particularly in KZN, and some of the seats that they overall received 25 seats in various municipalities. And so we'll be speaking with the Deputy President, Dr. Makhosi Khoza, in a moment. Before we do that, however, just some of the WhatsApp voice notes you've sent through from the open line.
Let's have the conversation. WhatsApp voice notes on 0614 104 107.
Good morning, Kathy. It's Brian Mabai from Protea Glen. I don't agree with the DA when they ban the country's flag, because if they were to understand where we come from as a country, the country itself is still in struggle because of the consequences of the apartheid itself. Their messaging can be good disregarding the EFF and the ANC, but banning the history of a country. We all understand what does a flag, in different countries mean. There's too much tears in that flag. So when they ban it, they are adding petrol to the fire that is already the Prima by project.
Good morning, Katie. Katie, I'm not happy with the previous caller who keep on using the word uBuntu. You know, that word is an insult. Actually, Thabo Mbeki shouldn't have used that word. As a president, as a president, he shouldn't have used that word. That word is an insult. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for a good show. Thank you, Mbongelele Zuma from Peter Maritzburg.
Good morning, Katie, and your listeners. Let me tell you why I will not vote. Because the government is fighting against cannabis, the plant. There are so many guns on the streets and gangsters with drugs, but the police are not fighting against them. They are busy harassing the hawkers on the street who are trying to find food to eat. There's no justice. Can you please call us a minister or anyone in the police or legal expert to tell us what is happening with the cannabis bill? Because the last time I remember, we rejected it as a public. This is Temba in Bergville.
SAFM values your views. Be an active citizen.
Well, we continue the conversation on the talking point this morning. The uBuntu Batho Congress is one of the parties that will be contesting the 2024 elections. The party recently, of course, made headlines when during the IEC signing ceremony, they expressed their concerns about there being very little focus on the issue of multilingualism during the election process. In fact, went as far as to refuse to sign an electoral agreement that is only in English and not translated in isiZulu. They also want to make sure that there is some level of independence that KwaZulu Natal would have in a move that they've described as reclaiming their historical identity. Dr. Makhosi Khoza, you are the Deputy President of the uBuntu Batho Congress. Good morning to you. Thanks for your time this morning.
Good morning, Kathy, and good morning to the listeners.
So, Dr. Khoza, you have worn many political hats. So I don't want to put words in your mouth. Perhaps in your own words, Dr. Khoza, out of all of the different hats that we have seen you wear, what makes the ABC different? Why have you decided to go with them this time?
The ABC, the name itself is uBuntu Batho Congress. It speaks directly to my own primary motive forces. And my primary motive forces are South African native citizens. And again, it speaks to what I have been pursuing as a scholar for the past 20 years. As you know, I'm one of the people that discovered that isiZulu can be used to demystify mathematics. So Abantu Batho Congress is a party that is not only looking at the symptoms of the problem, but we are trying to root out, to deal with the root causes of the South Africa's challenges. So that is why I'm with Abantu Batho, because we are saying democracy without economic prosperity of South African native citizens is meaningless. It actually undermines the wars of resistance that we wage, the struggle for liberation that we waged. So that's the point. That is why I'm with ABC. Thank you.
When you talk about the need to represent the natives within South Africa, of course, the ABC is quite clear about its mission, and that one of the issues that it is championing is for an independent Zulu state. Now, to what extent would that cover all South Africans? Because then we must talk about 9 provinces.
Well, ABC is constrained by financial resources. If we were to reconfigure South Africa, we will obviously not be talking about the Cape independence, but we'll be talking about the United Kingdom of Xhosas and Khoisan in the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and in Northern Cape. And we are contesting our elections nationally. We will be in the national ballot paper, but we are contesting in KwaZulu Natal specifically and the Free State province. And in KwaZulu Natal, because we have seen what has been happening with the people of KwaZulu Natal, I'm sure you will agree with me. Anything in KwaZulu Natal can trigger the people of KwaZulu Natal to go on a rampage. We've seen what happened during the July unrest. And we had to look at the root causes of this. We have also seen in KwaZulu Natal the rise of destructive industries like assassins. Assassins has become like a new industry because people do not have economic opportunities. People are linguistically invisible in their multitude of presence. In KwaZulu Natal, over 90% of the people of KwaZulu Natal identify isiZulu as their home language or mother tongue. But even the warning signs, they are written in English and Afrikaans. We begin to ask ourselves, if the continuation of the British and the Dutch linguistic language imperialism policy is perpetuated unabated, how else can we do? Because we have the Constitution of the Republic dethroned the custodians of the languages, the traditional leaders. That is why KwaZulu Natal is following same suit as Oriana to say, maybe we need to start considering self-determination with the hope that eventually we will have a federal state in South Africa, because under the current constitution, it is practically impossible to promote the languages of the people. It's practically impossible to ensure that the South African native citizens are benefiting from the economic opportunities of this country, because the constitution is predicated towards everyone. I mean, in a country, in a continent like Africa, where each state after another state fails because of a number of factors, how do you have a constitution that is for everyone? Obviously, you are annihilating the South African native citizens. And that is why we are zooming into KZN for self-determination, because of those factors.
All right. There's quite a bit that you've mentioned there, Dr. Khoza, that I want to just unpack.
No
Firstly,
problem.
the ABC is contesting national elections, right?
Yes.
So you're contesting elections in every province, right?
No, we are not. Okay, there are 3 ballot papers, Katie.
Yes.
There is a ballot paper the way you have to for each province. So for those provinces, we are only contesting KZN. and Free State. Okay. We are not contesting the rest
you're
of
not
the...
contesting.
But
Sorry to
we
come in.
are going to be, because of the votes that will be getting in the Free State and in KwaZulu Natal, we will be able to get, if we get enough votes, we'll be able to have seats in. But we are going appearing on the national paper. There is that paper that is responsible for proportional representation for 200 MPs.
Yes.
We are going to be appearing on that one. And on that one, we are pushing the message of economic prosperity for the South African native citizens.
Okay. So then you have two different types of messaging for your contest, because on the national ballot, where you are going to be, where citizens in any part of the country would be able to vote for you. This is the national ballot.
Yes.
There, the message that you're taking is around economic freedom.
Economic prosperity for South African native citizens. Let's underline South African native citizens, because we are being very specific. We are like this, your VF Plus, that is unapologetic about standing for Afrikaners. We are also standing for South African native citizens, because we feel that they've been shortchanged.
Okay. Except then when we come down to the provinces, there seems to be now a caveat, because if I vote for you and I am in Mpumalanga, what I'm going to learn is that it is going to be by and large the interests of people in KZN, around self-determination, and maybe inclusive of calls for self-determination in the Free State, that are going to be prioritized in the party, because of how you have particularly structured your campaigns in those two provinces.
You see, you must not chew, you must not take more than what you cannot chew. You know, the reality of the situation is that our stronghold is in KwaZulu Natal, okay? And let's be clear about that, and in the Free State. So we are saying, in those provinces, we are very clear about what we are going to be advancing. We are going to be advancing the economic prosperity of those provinces, and we are advancing the question of self-determination of those provinces. However, at national level, we are advocating for the prosperity of South African natives, because the truth is, KwaZulu Natal, you must remember that KwaZulu Natal, the South African natives in KwaZulu Natal, or Zulus if you like, they are part of the South African natives. They are also feeling as much pain as the people of KwaZulu Natal. But because of the resources and so forth, we are not contesting Western Cape. We are not contesting all the other provinces. We have decided to contest KwaZulu Natal and the Free State.
Yeah, but realistically, if you're on the national ballot, you are contesting those provinces.
Well, not necessarily, because we are not going to be in the provincial governments of those provinces. For you to be able to advance that cause of self-determination, Kathy, I'm sorry. For you to be able to advance that cause of self-determination, you need a national platform. For you to advance the cause of reconfiguring South Africa that is not working for the South African natives, that is only working for the whites, for the minorities and foreign nationals, you are not going to be able to advance that cause only in KwaZulu Natal and only in the Free State. That is why we need to be in the national parliament to represent the interest of the South African natives, who make more than 2/3 of the population of South Africa.
Okay. Dr. Khoza, help me understand this. So let's say you have a seat in parliament.
Yes.
How are you going to approach the kind of impact and influence you would use that seat for, if so much of your focus is around the natives as you describe them, the people of KZN, and the need for for there to be change, including in how the province is configured. So what happens again to the person who may have voted for you in Mpumalanga, the person who voted for you in Gauteng? What benefit are they going to get out of having given you their vote?
Let me give you this good example. Every South African native citizen has been shortchanged in this country. We are disappearing in communities, linguistically, culturally, psychologically, we've been devastated. There is not a single province that does not have IPARA. Is a good example in South Africa. There is not a single province that does not have an informal settlement. And those who are the inhabitants of those informal settlements, it is the South African natives. We are speaking for those people because everybody else, let's make an example. The EFF is Pan-Africanist, okay? I'm not against the EFF. It's talking about Africans in the whole continent. No, as APC, we are saying we cannot allow African countries to outsource their economic problems to South Africa. We also have a historical baggage of over 340 years of colonialism and apartheid that we needed to address. And we are saying we wanted to focus on South African natives. So if you are a South African native, if you are a mother and you are a Black person and you have children, you have a lot to benefit from APC because APC is going to be elevating your language, is going to represent your economic interests, and it is going to ensure that the legislation is not destroying the foundations of Abantu, which is Ubuntu, supreme philosophy of being and existence, that is being eroded in South Africa.
So elevating those languages, then in a country like South Africa, where we have 12 official languages, what does that practically mean from the view of the ABC party? Because at the same time, because of how you've described the very strong association with KZN, it would seem to me that isiZulu will be the language then that is elevated first, because you yourself have said you have to start somewhere. So you see KZN and you see isiZulu as the start. But how is a Sepedi speaker or a Sesotho speaker that has voted for you, how then are they benefited, or how then are their interests catered for in that?
It's very simple, Katie. We are saying this Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which is predicated towards everyone and not its citizens, is linguistically annihilating us. In fact, it is responsible for linguicide. South Africa, you must remember, is politically defined. And that is the problem with the configuration of South Africa. It's not configured along linguistic lines. For example, in KwaZulu Natal, over 90% of the population identify isiZulu as their home language or mother tongue. So in KwaZulu Natal, it goes without saying that the medium of instruction in that language should be isiZulu, okay? And if you go to Limpopo, it goes without saying that Pedi and Venda languages are those languages that should be very much elevated and so forth. What the Constitution chapter 12 has done, it dethroned the kings and queens by just recognizing them and giving the responsibility of languages and culture, because language is linked to culture, it's also linked to economics. They've given it to the minister, to a politician who comes and goes every 5 years. And we are saying, the reason why we want self-determination in KwaZulu Natal, it's because in KwaZulu Natal, out of 500 kings that you have in South Africa, over 350 of them are in KwaZulu Natal under Isilo Samabandla. And therefore, it's going to be easier in KwaZulu Natal to even showcase what the power of the language, of what the language can do. But we are also advancing that those languages are still operating on defective colonial design. we want it to be representing those people at national level. We are representing all South African native nationally, including the Khoisan. But in KwaZulu Natal, we are very clear and unambiguous that the people of KwaZulu Natal, traditional leaders who have been shortchanged, we need our own constitution so that you can have a say on the governance of your own subjects.
So how, there's so much for us to try and unpack, Dr. Khoza. Let me maybe just try and streamline my own thinking. Building the country around the languages that people speak, right? And saying that this is going to be our approach. Zulu is for the Zulus, Pedi is for the Pedis, and everybody must stay in their corner and live where their language is spoken. Is that not a form of ethno-nationalism? Is that not it?
It's very interesting how much we've been brainwashed into self-hate. Germans in Germany speak German and they prosper in German. In France, French, they are prospering in French. In England, they are prospering in English. And why do we have to unhighlight blacks as African natives?
Yeah, but Doctor,
and one state
Dr.
after
Khoza,
another in Africa has failed because we wanted to be treating Africans as if they are this homogeneous group. We are, admittedly, we are interrelated, we are interconnected, we are interdependent,
yes,
but
and
we
the
are linguistically and culturally distinctive, Katie. We are linguistically and culturally distinctive.
The Constitution appreciates that.
It
which is why
appreciates
we
that,
have
but
12
it's not implementing
official
it.
languages.
Katie, let me tell you what is
official
happening.
Languages, Dr. Khoza.
Katie, come to KwaZulu Natal practically. Even I wanted to do my licensing disc just yesterday. The 50-50 language imperialism policy, Afrikaans and English, is still being perpetuated. And it's written in English and Afrikaans in KwaZulu Natal. The word traffic signs are written speed kills. It's like the Zulus in their multitude of presence are linguistically absent. That because you dethroned the custodians of the language and you entrusted culture and the languages to politicians who come and go and not the custodians of the languages, the kings and queens that are only recognized by the constitution, but they have no say on how their subjects are governed. They have no say in developing and elevating their languages as tools of prestige
Khoza,
and prosperity.
We're going to continue the interview in a moment. It's time for me to take the latest news headlines.
No
I'll, of course,
problem,
also
Kathy.
take your calls for Dr. Makhosi Khoza.
Very much, Kathy, and a very good morning. With the news headlines, Kemudupi Makhalemele. The Socio-Economic Rights Institute, SERI, says it fully supports the findings and recommendations of the Khambebe Commission.
Okay, Dr. Khoza, I'm going to ask you to
Free
please
State residents who've been
leave the
living in
meeting
houses
and
with
then come back
asbestos
into the
roofing
meeting
for more than
because I
2
see there's less
decades
than 10
will
minutes to
finally
go.
benefit from an asbestos
okay.
And
use
the
the same
Israeli
link
military has
as the one that I
calls
sent
a
you just
limited
before
and
10 o'clock.
temporary
What should I do?
You must use the same link that I sent you just before 10 o'clock.
Other stories coming up.
Or just before?
Taking a look at your markets this morning, the rand is currently trading
the link that I
at
sent you
18
for
rand
10 o'clock.
46 to the dollar.
Do you understand her? Oh, okay. No problem. There's somebody who's assisting me here.
Asia were higher at the closing bell. The JSE is green across
to run the country. Firstly, we do not tolerate corruption. And with the DA government, life is better. And that is what millions of South Africans are
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
But in the past year, the Western Cape created over 300,000.
In the next.
Is working every day to become load
30 seconds.
We create a difference to the rest of South Africa.
Your head. So you will have to.
This political party advertisement was paid for by the political party concerned. The views expressed in this advertisement are those of the political party and not those of the SABC.
The Saturday Play.
You think you can just come into my life and mess it up and think you will get away with it? Ha, well, I'm sorry, Puti. You're messing with the wrong girl this time.
Catch me, Lerato Velase, on the Saturday Play.
You've always made a fool of me in front of the whole world.
Oh, I'm calling the police.
Be my guest.
Catch the Saturday Play between 9 and 10 p.m. Only on SAFM.
Call the president if you must.
Kathy Motlatlana on SAFM.
We continue the conversation with the Deputy President of the uBuntu Batu Congress, Dr. Makhosi Khoza. So, Dr. Khoza, you have a number of times in this conversation pointed to the Constitution. You say that, in fact, it is one of the problems that you, as a Congress, have identified. Now, the South African Constitution, of course, supports a view that South Africa belongs to all who live in it. Do you agree with that view?
South African Constitution is predicated towards everyone. And you can even go to the Constitution yourself, go to the whole Bill of Rights and see how many times citizen is mentioned in that Constitution, in that chapter, and see how many times everyone is mentioned. Let's be realistic. We live in a world where we are all fighting over scarcity of resources. If South Africa is belonging to everyone, it doesn't belong to the citizens. And the Constitution only recognizes the custodians of the language and culture and dethrones the kings and queens who wage wars of resistance against land dispossession. How are you going to build social cohesion? How are you going to do so? So we are saying the South African Constitution is utopian. Yes, it's hailed as the best in the world because it works for the white people, it works for the minorities, and it works for foreign nationals. But in the process, it doesn't work for the South African native citizens who make more than 2/3 of the population.
So for the people then who, according to your party, would not be those that are covered in the Constitution, would not be those that belong in SA, what would become of them practically? ABC comes into government after the 29th of May. What happens?
Let me tell you. And again, I'm going to be, because there is something fundamentally wrong with us as Africans. We have King Charles in Britain, of United Kingdom. We have King William in the Dutch. I'm talking about our colonizers. And those kings are treated with the respect. They are given the resources. They are custodians of the language and culture and so forth. In those countries, it doesn't mean that because if you are in France, because you have a French that defines the population of France, that you don't have other nationalities, you don't have other minorities, but you don't annihilate the majority. You don't get the majority be annihilated by the minority. In South Africa, you are sitting with a situation where, as the majority of South African natives, we are linguistically invisible. I'm giving you, Katie, let me give you a good example with KwaZulu Natal so that you can understand. In KwaZulu Natal, before 1994, we kept, yes?
Dr. Khoza,
Yes, Katie.
don't give me an example that is just narrowed to KZN, unless of course that's really what the focus of your party is. The example I gave you was, it's now post 29 May.
Yes.
ABC is in government, right?
Yes.
You've won the elections. This is now a hypothetical example I'm giving you. So based on what you believe and this idea that South Africa does not belong to all who live in it, what then becomes the priority of the ABC government in such a scenario?
ABC is saying we are unapologetic. Every party, the DA is very clear that it is representing the interest, it's protecting the interest largely of your white privileges. It protects the white privileges. The same thing with VF Plus. It protects Afrikaners, the interests of Afrikaners. And we are saying as APC, we are also unambiguous about who is our primary motive forces. We are saying it's the South African native citizens, but we do not promote discrimination of minorities. But we are saying majority must not be annihilated in the process to accommodate the minority. We can't. What did we fight for? Why did we go for liberation and so forth?
Dr. Khoza, I still don't have a clear picture of what exactly practically that would mean, because again, you've emphasized the fact that the Constitution in its current form simply does not work for the ABC. And yet,
not for ABC, for South African natives.
Yeah, the Constitution as it is supported by the ANC government, a government that you are in coalition agreement with.
Which I left because it was not prioritizing South African natives.
Okay. At which point did you begin to have this view, Dr. Khoza, or have you always held this view?
You see,
at which point did you begin to believe that the Constitution is not what this country needs? And
we've had 30 years of this Constitution. The South African native is still the face of poverty in this country. The South African native is still linguistically invisible in his ancestral land. And I have had 30 years to reflect on South Africa and start asking myself, or we as APC, we are asking ourselves, why have the Black people, let me give you a good example. For example, that if you look at the typical social grant recipient who is living on 350 rands a month, it is the South African native. They've increased from 2.5 million in 1994 to over 28 million in 2024. During the same period, the Afrikaners and the white people in general, the multi-billionaires, have more than doubled. Obviously, there is something wrong with the Constitution. We didn't just wake up and say, we now need self-determination. It is science that is informing our decision. Because if you are a leader, you can't be dogmatic. You have to look at the conditions, the living conditions of the people. Are they becoming better or are they becoming worse? If they are becoming worse, as is the case in South Africa, what is the root of the problem? And we are now speaking from experience. There was no way we could have spoken about it in 1994 because we didn't have this lived experience. Now we have the lived experience. We've had the benefit of 30 years of this Constitution, and we've seen that it's not working for the South African native.
Okay, Dr. Khoza. Let's talk a little bit about your party's president, Philani Mavundla, and the founder of this particular organization. He historically had been known to have quite a good and a long-standing relationship with the former president, Jacob Zuma. In fact, it's well known that he was part of the Friends of Jacob Zuma Trust, that also worked to help raise funds for him in the different litigation matters that he was facing. What is the nature of their relationship today?
Kathy, I cannot, Mavundla, you must understand, Mavundla and myself don't have a love affair. We have a political relationship. The relationship with Mavundla and I is because he's the founder of a political party that is speaking to what I am pursuing, and that is the interest of the South African natives. His relationship with Zuma has got absolutely nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to get into his relationship. I think that question must be asked to Mavundla. Mina, I'm not interested in his friends. I'm not interested in his friends. I'm interested in what is his pursuit. Kathy. Kathy.
No, Dr. Khoza, no. That is not an answer I will accept. You would hardly need to have a love affair with him to, number one, know the answer to that question, or even be interested in the answer
you
to
are
that
not
question.
asking me a question that is related to ABC. You are asking me
Dr.
questions
Khoza,
that are personal about Mavundla. It's not. I'm not interested in who his friend is.
Let me tell you why it's relevant.
Okay,
it's relevant
tell me,
because it's relevant because for the first time, we will now also have the MK party contesting this election. And we all know what that could potentially mean for KZN and voters in KZN. So it is not unlikely that come whatever results they might be post the 29th of May, we will see different configurations and allegiances. So who is the ABC party likely to align itself with after the May 29
right
election?
now we
will
are
it be
fighting
ANC?
the elections.
Will it be the ABC? That is a significant question.
Kathy, right now we are fighting the elections, and when you go to war, you go to win. If you don't win, that's not your primary, that's not your target. But we are going there to win. We are going to cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, we are saying to you, Mavundla is the president of ABC, and Mavundla is not a member of MK Party.
Don't voters deserve that transparency? Don't voters deserve to know
the
what the
voters,
thinking of their political parties is?
They do deserve that. We understand that the voters do deserve that. But with us as ABC, we are very clear. Our partners are all the partners that are going to be pro-South African native agenda. We are not going to be calling them by name, but as long as your agenda is pro-South African natives, it is genuinely seeking to address the structural challenges that we have and this mediocre education system that we have. We will be with you. But if you are going to be talking about everything else and excluding South African natives, you are automatically excluded from the equation of ABC.
Okay, Dr. Khoza, I've got plenty more questions, but I want to bring in our listeners. We've got so many people on the line. Okay. I'm going to ask everybody, please keep it as short as possible me. We'll kick it off in the Eastern Cape. Dumile.
No problem.
Good morning. All right, it looks like we've lost Dumile on the line. John, you're in Davidton. Good morning.
Hello, how are you, Kate?
Well, thank you, John.
No, I differ and agree with Dr. Makhosi Khoza. He seemed to not separate language and ethnicity in terms of economic empowerment. You talk about France. France, you can only promote your language effectively if your economic stand is good. The first thing that we need to do as Africans or South Africans, I like what he's saying, that he does not want African countries to outsource their problem to South Africa, which is correct. If you follow that policy and enough South African blacks, not based on ethnicity, but national connection, they are economically empowered, then you can maybe move into the next issue, which is language. If you mix these things you cannot empower the African indigenous persons. We are where we are because really after freedom, we didn't get enough time to empower our people economically. And when it differs with EFF, where they say they are fighting for Africa and all, that's a big objective that we cannot. But he's just shy of saying he wants to promote the Zulus, which is not, it's not okay. Let her and the party make sure that we really make sure that Africans don't come and have it good in South Africa where people are. Let me tell you,
all right,
the DA and the white people, they are very, very, very aware that to weaken South Africans, they have to team up with people from Africa. When they give them employment opportunities and everything, that's why there is high crime.
Okay,
So
John,
that's
we're
why
going to
I'm
have
not
to leave it
saying
there. As I've said, let's try and keep it as short as possible. We've got quite a number of listeners on the line. Simpiwe, you're in Nyanga. Good morning.
Thank you, Sister Katie. How are you?
I'm well, Simpiwe. Go for it.
Okay. There is a city in Germany called Berlin, where the European countries gather together to divide Africa in a piece of cake, something like that. It seems like those political parties that are recently registered now, they are doing the same thing in South Africa for the elections. Dr. Makhosi was in the ANC, and she exposes the former president, Jacob Zuma, but the current president did not promote him to any position. So that shows that she is power hungry. She left the ANC to join Herman Mashaba, his political party. She was not given a better deal in terms of positions. Now she joined the APCD. I hope his desperation pays that she can go to the national parliament, and we had enough with Makhosi Khoza and Philip Darling and playing.
Okay. All right, Simpiwe. Denzel, you're in Kimberley. Good morning, Denzel.
Good morning, Casey. Good morning, Dr. Khoza.
Morning.
Yes, Dr. Khoza, I'm going to take you back 1994, the month before election. Constant Viljoen, Mangosuthu Buthelezi, Lucas Mangopre, they didn't believe in a constitution, and they were after the same thing you are after. Makhosi Khoza, this is very dangerous. If you can go back in history, our country went through a lot in that short period of time. Thousands of people were murdered because of irresponsible leaders. Now I'm going to bring you back, Dr. Khoza. I don't want you, I love you as a person, but I don't want you to follow the same route of the people that I mentioned just now. My second point, Dr. Khoza, is you all of a sudden, you've been a politician for years. Now you are prioritizing this thing of this nature that you are pursuing now. Casey can't mention certain things, Dr. Khoza, but I can. She's a very lovely lady and I love her very much. Dr. Khoza, stay away from politics. Please go and follow the thing that you have started. Rather go and do that. But don't get our people confused because you are dividing this country.
Okay.
I'm putting it to you.
Thank you for that call, Denzel. Vuyiswa in Parktown. Good morning.
Morning, Kathy and Chuk, Makhosi Khoza. Thanks, Kathy, for taking my call. One thing, I agree with her 100%. The Constitution does not serve South Africans. And people like the DA are lying. You conduct a research in the suburbs and Indian Fort Speck or Mayfair. Not even one South African is employed. They employ foreigners who don't have documents, and they know they are breaking the law. Lastly, which is my actual point, is that the land, to come Zama politicians, the land was taken in the hands of our king. You know, in Kunu, that's why I have a king of Abatembu that is disregarded by everybody. But that's a born king. That's a leader that leads his community. He knows his story. When you sit down with him and talk to him, he will tell you exactly what he thinks. He doesn't miss his word. izwe alikhanye lithathwe ezandleni
Okay.
zama-politician.
Okay, thanks, Vuyiswa. Anonymous in Durban, good morning.
Good morning, Kathy, and to Doctor. Hello.
Morning.
Yes, I just want to ask, why do the ABC want to divide South Africa? Because now, the other day I was listening to a debate on Khoza FM. The ABC candidate was saying that they want to do borders between, when you go into KZN, there must be borders, and when you go into Eastern Cape, there must be borders, which is wrong. Aren't we supposed to be united as one in South Africa? I'm confused.
Okay, Anonymous, thanks for the call. Sandile,
Okay,
you're in KZN, good morning.
Morning, Katie. How are you?
Sandile, we don't have time for greetings. Go for it.
All right. Okay. I also wanted to greet Dr. Khoza there. I think Dr. Khoza has just well represented me as a South African in terms of the Constitution. I also feel that the Constitution is actually selling our country, and it's time that we all rise up as South Africans, patriotic South Africans, protect our country, and try to overhaul this Constitution, because it's not actually doing any good for the South Africans. I fully support the sentiments by Dr. Khoza. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for the call, Sandile. Dr. Khoza?
Well, with Sandile, thank you very much. The last caller. The other caller, the one that was talking about the fact that the land was taken from kings, she's absolutely right. We cannot allow this constitution that is dethroning our kings. And in KwaZulu Natal, by the way, even in Ingonyama Trust land, the person that is responsible for even appointing the board of trustees is a politician, is the Minister of Land and Agriculture. So I think I am in agreement with her. The other one that was saying, why am I dividing South Africa? No, we are not dividing South Africa. We are actually calling for the reconfiguration of South Africa that puts the majority of South African native citizens first. Okay? Because eventually, we are saying South Africa must become a federal state. South Africa will then have different autonomous states that are so that they can write their own constitutions that will represent the interests of their people. And obviously, you will have the cosmopolitan a state, which will be your Gauteng, because that's where everybody is in and so forth. But in linguistically homogeneous provinces like KwaZulu Natal, there is no way you can overlook the over 90% of the population. So, and Simpiwe was also saying, I'm power hungry. I am saying to Simpiwe, I'm not going to you hold that view. I believe that I'm being true to myself, and I speak truth to power, and I own my truth. I'm a proud South African native, and I'm not going to be bullied in the political environment. And I have to stay on power as a woman. And I think that women out there must see from my experience that as a woman, you can be resilient. You can't be just thrown out of the political ring. So that's all I can say to him. Finally, the other person that was talking about isiZulu. Let me tell you something. These languages, and I'm talking about isiZulu because I am the author of the mathematical configuration of isiZulu. English and Afrikaans are not. It's an insult to us as South African natives that you have a mathematically configured language, but there is an imposition of languages that are unmathematical. Both English and Afrikaans are unmathematical. English, wait for 8 is 8, for Afrikaans is 8, and in isiZulu is shiagalombili, which literally translates into an algebraic equation, x minus 2 equal y. And yet, this is not learned in South African schools. How are we going to preserve these languages and elevate them as tools of prestige and prosperity if we are not being proud of who we are and owning who we are and loving ourselves?
Dr. Khoza, how different would your reconfiguration of the South African state be to what it was under apartheid with the Bantustans?
That's a very good question, Kathy. You see, under Bantustan, the motive was to divide the Africans. The motive, that's where it was to divide the Africans. And we knew that there was no way we could have achieved the democracy that we have in South Africa if we were not uniting. And this is not dividing us. But what it is saying, if we are Mopedi, if you are Zulu, you must be proud of who you are. Because a language is not just a tool of communication. It's your primary logic and intelligence. It is economics. Imagine how much the tourism industry in KwaZulu Natal or in Limpopo, if these languages were to be elevated, we're going to benefit from, because everyone in the world speaks English. So if you get a t-shirt that's written in English, you can get it anywhere. But if I go to Bedi and I get it there, it's a beautiful thing, you know. So I'm saying there is a lot of industries that are linked to languages.
So the only difference would be the motive.
The motive. But also you must understand that Titina, we are not talking about Bantustans. We are including the minorities. We are saying the minorities are going to be accommodated in the same way as you have people who have been naturalized in Germany. There are Germans that are black. There are Germans, there are French that are black. But the thing is, those countries are defined linguistically and culturally.
Be accommodated, in your view?
They will be accommodated. They will be accommodated. Why are we right now? We are saying the majority of South Africans are excluded and they are deprived economic opportunities. And we have to keep. I am talking about my primary motives. And my primary motives are South African natives. Can I be confined to the South African natives? And can I not be extended to thinking about other people? There is VF Plus that can talk about them. I'm talking about my South African natives, please.
And the Indian population in KZN?
We are going to, you see, that's precisely the reason why we want it to be able to undo this injustice that is happening. Because remember, a black child who is now, by the way, in South Africa, a black child, to get a bachelor pass in South Africa, there is a culture of mediocrity. You must get 40% in your home language. We disagree. We are saying for your own language, you must not be allowed to pass your thing with 40%. For mathematics, we are saying that children must pass with 30%. Where can you compete in the world with 30% pass mark in mathematics? When mathematics is the mother of all sciences and mathematics is the mother of all inventions, technological breakthroughs. We are saying let's develop Bantu languages because they are set-oriented, they are mathematically configured. And we are saying let's elevate them as tools of prestige and prosperity. And we are saying the Indian populations, they have, nobody is going to be disturbing them. The minority rights will be protected. We are not going back to apartheid days, but we are saying we've been invisible for over 370 years. We want it to be linguistically visible and culturally visible as a people.
Dr. Khoza, we'll bring that to you for this morning. It's time for the latest news.
Okay, Kathy.
Top stories at 11. More reaction to the Usindiso fire report.
Thank you so much for
Israel
your time,
starts
Ma.
evacuating Rafah residents.
6:30 like it. Hello. Are we done? Are we done? I'm not sure what to do. Okay. Okay.
Stethoscope wire on the Voice on the Move radio.
Voice on the Move Radio would like to welcome you on this adventurous music takeoff. We believe that underground talent is everything, and that is the reason we decided to go 100% local and underground with our playlist. Babize bonke. I want to search for you. To come and support your talent, Uyazi numbers don't lie. So 3 packages have been created to grow you as a brand, and YouTube is one of our platforms we are using to broadcast and play your music. Gakoge, la. Each and every artist is required to subscribe on our YouTube channel at Voice on the Move Radio Live and share with all your supporters. If they're dwelling our they'll show some support. So it's say, I've seen our packages lapo.
On the Golden Package, you invite 60 people to subscribe and make your way to our studio music playlist and also our YouTube playlist. You also get a live interview.
On our Silver Package, invite 30 people to subscribe to the Voice on the Move Radio Live and get your music airlisted on our VM Music Library.
On the Platinum Package, invite 100 people to subscribe. Uzibeke ethubeni izivele lokuthi uthole ama-live performances, live DJ sessions, live interviews, YouTube playlist, photo shoot, VM radio merchandise. Become the face of 100% local music for a month. Isn't that exciting?
Babize bonke.
Moving mountains is not just the only thing we do to give you the best insurance quote. Talk to our friendly consultant today on 031 012 5223 to switch and save. At Intaba, we understand that every cent is worth saving, and we are happy to move mountains to give you a peace of mind and enough savings in your pocket, knowing that your policy is well taken care of, with benefits like passenger liability, personal accident cover, and more. Follow us on social media at Intaba Insurance Brokers. Email info@intaba-insurance.co.za. Call 031 012 5223. Intaba Financial Service is a licensed service provider with FSP number 47111. Terms and conditions do apply. Premiums are risk profile dependent and reviewed annually based on a risk profile and economic factors.
Baby girl, it's gonna be better. You'll never fool me, ever. I'm just doing my best. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. Goosebumps when you call me. Gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you. Gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you. I'll be too much pressure. Yeah. I don't need no trouble. Oh. Let the ocean flush the pain away. I just wish that I could fly away. I'ma be side back. I don't let nobody tryna stop me. You're the kind of person that could go back to. Not too many people tryna come at you. Baby girl, it's gonna be better. You'll never fool me, ever. I'm just doing my best. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. Goosebumps when you call me. Gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you. Gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you. You know my capabilities. Maybe that's why you were into me. Size of the chemistry, girl. You connect with the Hennessy. Yeah. I consider dreams more than pain. Do you love me or my name? No, you ain't hot, you a flame. You did all that shit, yeah, for the fame, yeah. Worth the picture, but ain't picture perfect. If I followed you, I would regret it. The only time I followed you is on the X on the Instagram.
gonna follow you. All right, it's a beautiful sound of Stephen Wolf featuring Coombs with a better right on Voice on the Move Radio. It's 8 minutes after the hour of 11 at the last hour of the show. If you just joined us now, you are very much welcome. Even though you just missed out, you just had a whole hour of a conversation with Uketi all the way from SAFM, having a conversation with the Deputy President of the APC Party, Dr. Makhosi Khoza, right on Voice on the Move Radio, and streamed on Voice on the Move Radio together with SAFM. Hopefully, you did understand a little bit about the APC party. If you did not get that, please make sure that you do head into APC Party on Facebook, streamed live. Voice on the Move Radio on YouTube, Voice on the Move Radio Live. The conversation is there. Or you can check out on Voice on the Move Radio on Facebook as well. The interview is definitely there. All right, let me just quickly go here. When I come back, we're going to talk about things that are happening within the tax industry space. More especially, you don't be missing out on this one. If you want to get in touch, 0745174983, 0745174983. It is a Monday. It's the 6th of May. It's the 6th of May, 20. I hope you still have morning so far. Let's go to see Pomjita featuring Blue Poppy and Mhlonishwa Nas, as well as Master M, but your feelings.
I still in my feelings, you know. Baby, how you just gon' cheat and think I never saw that? Baby, how you just gon' break my heart and never call back? I've been fighting demons, you know. I'm still in my feelings, you know. Baby, how you just gon' cheat and think I never saw that? Baby, how you just gon' break my heart and never call back? Umwenzani, wenzeli jabulo, maishiya hili tizio nomu. Umwenzani, wenzeli jabulo, maishiya hili tizio nomu.
La, mina nawe bengazi ukuthi siwumuntu munye noma sixabana kubo kwesikhashana kusheshe kudlule but manje seziyaphela insuku singazange sikhulume ngikusendele emningi mqhafazo ukuthi ungakuyiphenduli akwande liphi leli dimoni elibusa phakathi kwethu leli likwenza ufake ku-social media indaba zethu unika izathu ey'ningi zokuquestion uthando lwethu mhlawumbe obungenzela kona sekujike kwabe isikweletu empeleni lolu thanda lisena direction vele ngikhumbule kudala usanginikeza i-attention I really miss the old you that had love and affection. I'm missing days when I didn't have to beg for attention.
I still in my feelings, you know. Baby, how you just gon' cheat and think I never saw that? Baby, how you just gon' break my heart and never call back? I've been fighting demons, you know. I still in my feelings, you know. Baby, how you just gon' cheat and think I never saw that? Baby, how you just gon' break my heart and never call back? Umwenzani, wenzeli jabulo, maishiya hili tizio nomu. Umwenzani, wenzeli jabulo, maishiya hili tizio nomu.
Me for you, you for me till the end of time. Angeke khona uqhubeka nempilo ungekho nami. Noma sixabana baby sometimes and so what? Le impilo uyayithandana kubuye kube tough. Noma sixabana ngiyazehlisa kubuhlungu and akwazi ngisho catch my feelings omunye umuntu. Phela ubena ungenza umuntu ebantwini noma flop ungibuyisele kulayini. Yazi njalo iyajabula lenhliziyo yami. Jabuliso ukuthi wena uhlezi unami noma idemoni efuna ukulinga lenhliziyo yami I stay strong kunengelosi ekhona empilweni yami
I still in my feelings, you know. Baby, how you just gon' cheat and think I never saw that? Baby, how you just gon' break my heart and never call back? I've been fighting demons, you know. I'm still in my feelings, you know. Baby, how you just gon' cheat and think I never saw that? Baby, how you just gon' break my heart and never call back? Umwenzani, wenzeli jabulo, maishiya hili tizio nomu. Umwenzani, wenzeli jabulo, maishiya hili tizio nomu.
Morning movement.
That's right.
Steady scoop wire on the Voice on the Move Radio. We the best internet radio.
We the best. We the best.
Mikey Bell on the track. Mikey Bell on the track.
Uthi ngeke swafeza amaphupho ndawonye bekumele ungitshele uthi ngeke swafeza amaphupho ndawonye angibonile sengibonile angibonile sengibonile benginesifiso nami thando ngiyakudinga nami ngikhalela ubomi bami lona ixesha lami yakhumbula ulele esifubeni sami ungitshela ukuthi umntwana okukhala uculo lami thando lakho belungivala amehlo bengithi wena uzongivala amehlo benginesifiso nami thando ngiyakudinga nami ngikhalela ubomi bami lona ixesha lami bengitshela uthi ngeke swafeza amaphupho ndawonye bekumele ungitshele uthi ngeke swafeza amaphupho ndawonye angibonile sengibonile angibonile sengibonile salutama ya baby gizetse fela baby zetse kalikria hakijera gilimete le maikutla zetse kadipoto dale wam ziba ke mola le ngolo jena ye khatetse ke utlile ke mjola ha ke sa batla mjolo ba le fatse mona ha o tshepahale ha ke jera ke limetse le maikutlo setse ka dipotso uthi ngeke swafeza amaphupho ndawonye bekumele ungitshele uthi ngeke swafeza amaphupho ndawonye angibonile sengibonile angibonile sengibonile
oh, hey, yeah. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, hey. Girl, I never met someone like you before. Yeah, you pull from my heart, and you're the only one for me. Cannot explain the way I feel about you. What I have for you is true. I'm in love, love, love. Love is what I have for you. I get come up, yeah, give time, yo. Good. I'm gonna look down when I want to go. Girl, I get come up, yo, because yo. Good. I'm gonna look down when I want to go. You drive me crazy, you're so amazing. You're the greatest, yeah. It's so shallow, no. I'm gonna give you shit. Cause you drive me crazy, you're so amazing. You're the greatest, yeah. You're so shallow, no. I'm gonna give you shit.
Unothanda and unesmilo uyakwazi unakekela angilutho ngaphandle kwakho ubuhle nenhliziyo yakho ungenza ngijabule ngaso sonke isikhathi nginawe akekho munye ngimthakekho kuwe akekho angifuni lutho ngawe won't let you go akekho ngithakekho kuwe akekho angifuni lutho ngawe Sandra Sami, you're the greatest girl I ever met. Ngizohlala nawe angeke ngikushiye nawe and forever. Ngithanda ngoba ungithandela izinto enginazo. Wena komshado, kumina ufana nomngane weqiniso. Ngizobazisa abazali ngawe ngiyasifela ngawe. Laba bangathanda basiyeke mina ngizohamba nawe. Ngibeka ithemba kuJehova ngigcinele wena ngakho umuzi nawe. You deserve it all. I found to live when I found you. Crazy, amazing, you're the greatest. Now, baby, I can't give you you better drive me crazy, so amazing, you're the greatest, yeah. So now, baby, I can't give you better. I get come, yeah, give me time,
The beautiful sounds of Young Blessed with again Ngimthandayo right here on Voice of the Move Radio. 20 minutes after the hour of 11, live on www.vmradio.co.za. Right, so apparently, the Road Accident Fund has been paying a lot of money to a lot of wrong people. Right, so the RAF says that it has been grossly abused by fraudulent claims, and particularly from foreigners. Right, so yeah, a lot of money was been claimed for. So for the past 5 years, it's about 18 billion of rent that were actually claimed by Abantu abangabona bala, and nakhona they are here illegally, so they are busy doing fraud, claiming imali. And sakuze kwaba nalento ethi, when you are actually applying for URAF wakho, you know that you're going to have to wait for some time, for a very long time, because in the meantime, there are people who are just being paid left, right, and center. Nina Lindilo 5 years. So in the last 5 years, I'm told you are waiting. One of our colleagues actually here in the studio, says Boneludi, is one of those people that are just waiting. So you're just gonna have to like kind of wait for long so that you can be paid. While abanye abantu abangalimalanga engozini abangabona abala eNingizimu Afrika abala eNingizimu Afrika illegally, right? Abathola imali while when are you waiting for years because siyazi ukuthi vele proceed yabona lento yokuba brainwashed sibe programmed with certain things. I mean, like, why process lapho ingekho speedy? Yeah, why is it not speedy? It's because abantu benza fraud. That's the reason why. I tell you now, it's because they're busy doing fraud, right? So yeah, so apparently, imali pumile, it's a lot of money, 18 billion rands. It's a very big money for abantu abala. Abantu piece of life, you can see them buying amapeliti, nana. They're getting all this money because we are sleeping and we're not checking what's going on with things. So if fraud ilalubi when it comes to that. So if you're one of those people who are still just waiting for your rough money to come out, let me just just check what is going on. Mhlawumbe sekuthiwa usupay awuthiwe nje when you don't even know about that, right? Talk about foreigners and things that they're actually doing. Over the weekend, I actually had a story, a very traumatizing and a very questionable story. So a guy who actually owned a tuck shop, Elokshini, in Joburg, if not Limpopo, was actually killed by the Somalians. As we all know that the Somalians, they have a tuck shop everywhere, Emalokshini. So this guy Waka Kumar was actually one of abantu banama shop now. So Wutiwage, for some time they have been warning him, telling him that he should just close their tuck shop because this is their business, right? So they own a tuck shop. Suddenly, Suddenly. So there are two things that I'm really, really worried about when it comes to South Africa. It's the foreigners that are actually here in South Africa illegally and who are taking over a business, selling ukudla ongekho right and all of that. And then go by of drama drugs, the kids that are actually staying in the streets about and so those are the two things that I really wish there can be solutions in. If those things can be worked on, I think singaba ne better South Africa, because then comes job creation, then comes a clean nation, then comes a nation of people who are building and studying and are hardworking and abasebenzayo are starting their own businesses and so forth. Yeah, well. So yeah, I think so yeah, that's just one of the stories that I was like shocked about over the weekend. As much as we are saying that like we, I'm not even saying it because abantu abasho ukuthi South Africans are lazy. So this guy was actually killed by Ama Somalians because they claim that a tax shop business belongs to them. They own the business as if like they started the business, right? Because looking back, we had tax shops. We had those tax shops. It's not like it's something that we didn't have, right? And they were huge, they were big, as they are, But yeah, it's pretty sad what has become of in South Africa, So yeah, man. Every day it's new stories, shocking stories that we're actually finding. And I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Crazy. 25 minutes after the hour of 11, it's Brown Sugar featuring Uliron Malgus. The song is so crazy.
Yeah, she hold my attention, baby, not to mention the way that you smile with your eyes, yeah. We got that connection, Only if I see you, and I know that you feel me too. When you call me, I'll be there in a hurry. Only if I see you, and I know that you feel me too. Me no want nobody but you. Say no, my love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. My love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. Confidence like Beyonce, and you move her body like oh na na na. See, I can't take my eyes off you, girl. You light up the room, and you drive me crazy. Oh na 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 na. My love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. My love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. Only if I see you, and I know that you feel me too. When you call me, I'll be there in a hurry. Only if I see you, and I know that you feel me too. Me no want nobody but you. Say no, my love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. Girl, you know you drive me crazy. My love and my baby, my love and my baby, drive me crazy. My love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. My love and my baby girl, you know you drive me crazy. right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. I want your love, but I cannot have your love. But I don't really wanna be throwing shade. Negativity, get out of my way. And everything you did to me was fine. But now I realize that I got some issues too. Imagine if there wasn't a reason to hate me. Imagine if there wasn't no wars left to fight. I've been thinking about you, the way you make me feel, what you do. I've been thinking about you, my nightmares coming true, coming true. Move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Give me like 2 shots just for what I could give 2 more. I'm turned up, catch me with a click, yeah, we popping up. Us net fire vibes, I'm the boss. You chose opulence cause I'm classing up the drama. No man, we've been through this over and over, baby. Can't you see the red flags? I put the T in it for my own. No keysy, I'm rubbing P. Best believe if you're gonna be with me. I'm the last one you wanna cross. I'm riding solo with no brakes here. Guess it's better off this way, yeah. Maybe you're not meant for me. I'm flying out Galilee. Move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Yeah. You wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Yeah. You wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. Right on. Move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna move right on. You know you wanna. You know you wanna right on.
Beautiful sound of Robin Peters with Move Right on Voice of the Move Radio. 31 minutes after 11. Mhlaka 6 May 2024, right? And so we election month, that is where we are. That's how we call it. Mhlaka 29 is the election day. Before that, I gave you Brown Sugar featuring Oliron Malgas, but a crazy things happening left, right, and center. All right. So if you are looking into getting into a taxi business industry, right, a couple of things that you really need to know. Yeah. We have a lot of women going into business. I once had a chat with a woman who I mean, I just decided, I want to go into the taxi industry business. So saying it taxi because in most cases, as you know, with abantu besifazane who are actually into the taxi industry business, are the people that are the women that husband died, you have to take over the business, the parents died. You're the only child that's left and you're a girl, so you need to go for the business, right? So it's that. And abanyeke, they just go in because they want to. Even for male, young people, young blood within the taxi industry. So there are a couple of things that you should, consider or know before you actually do. So very important. Whenever you're going to go to any industry or whatever that you're going to do, you need to make sure that you conduct a market research. So before embarking or starting a taxi business, you must conduct through market research and assess the demands and availability of the venture before you even start, right? So you need to know what I come back and so you also need to have a Maliga requirements and licensing, which is actually very important. So to operate a taxi business legally in South Africa, you must obtain the necessary license and permits from the relevant authorities. So, in other words, if we local legal requirements can actually result in a fine or even closure a business like hotel and just like chill. No, there's just certain things they should shy that you can, a title like then so after that. So you need to make sure that legal requirements and licensing they are on tops so that you don't have troubles business because pay a lot of money to start that business and then apparently and then you are faced with consequences after that. So yeah, if you actually want to start a taxi industry business, number 3 is that your vehicle acquisition and maintenance. So one of the most significant investment in starting a taxi business is to acquire sustainable vehicles. So make sure with because even for any car, imagine having a car that always needs a service. This that is broken. This that. So it gets very tiring and it's out of your pocket. So now as a business person, so you need to make sure with you understand what and so you have several options to actually consider with each own advantage and disadvantages of that. So you need to make sure whenever that you're purchasing a vehicle, we're taking down the right, we're taking it fresh, which is second hand, you double check. You check what's right in so that you don't have trouble. The group kind of, and then hiring and managing drivers. That's one of the things that you really need to consider when it comes to savings because this is business. At the end of the day, you need to have people that are going to work on that business. So, dingo driver, about reliable. You will need to have reliable or driver manage business because in the beginning, I think I had a couple of chats with the Manyama owners just when I started to as a driver and then I bought my own car I driver and my very first taxi I driver and then moving forward to it's an using a short driver when the business was growing. So you must consider now you're going to have to manage people or work with people. And of course, man, you need to make sure that you check out insurance and legal compliances so that you're protecting so that you make sure that your car is always protected. Your taxi is protected from potential liabilities and ensuring compliance with labor laws and crucial for risk and avoiding legal complications, right? The other thing that you need to consider is marketing and branding. So Uber and other popular taxi businesses are actually growing with effect marketing and branding. So consider some of the strategies. So you need to live within the 4IR digital space as a taxi owner. So you need to make sure now you're going with the era that we're actually living in digital. So you need to make sure if they want to advertise the business, so marketing and branding actually very important. That can actually get you some little bit of an extra money during a taxi owner, right? So yes, as I was saying, technology is taking over. So you need to have like have Wi-Fi on your taxi so that people when they get into it, it's where I was with stream and they don't get bored and so forth. So we're not going to run away from the times, man. We're not going to run away from the times. So we need to pick up and find ways to work with what's happening. Right. And also financial planning and marketing. And managing when it comes to Taxiako. So proper financial planning and management are actually essential for long-term sustainability and growth for your taxi business. So you need to make sure when it comes to your financial planning and management, we as find relevant people, insurance as but if you're new to the business, it's always okay to query around and find out from other people what and 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So asking never hurts, right? It helps you to learn and grow. And obviously, you need to have a growth and expansion strategies. Now that I already bought my first taxi, how am I actually going to buy the next one and then the next one and the next one? So as your taxi business gains land traction and explore opportunities for growth and that's why you need to actually consider when are you actually buying your next one and then your next one after that and your next one and the next one. So So just to conclude, starting a taxi business in a small town in South Africa actually presents both challenges and opportunities. So following a well-structured plan and considering each step explained above, as was just saying to you, can actually help you to increase your trend of success in this competitive industry, because it's a huge industry, the biggest transporting industry that we have in South Africa, with a lot of people involved. So it's very much huge, and it requires you to have a different strategy or a different plan on, well, just now they're saying the more just things will relax, I'm not going to be needing anything else. So you need to have a strategies, work on it day and night, so that you come up with different things that you can do. Some people can even expand to other industries rather than just sticking to the taxi industry, even though it's money, but yeah, you can also just option for other things once you start growing, but once you have other ideas of also just what you want to do. It is 39 minutes of after 11 o'clock, right? Double songs coming through. Please make sure that you don't go anywhere. Don't forget that if you're a musician, make sure that you do send through your music to studio@vmradio.co.za. That is a studio at vmradio.co.za. You can also just make sure that you do send us an email if you wish to advertise your business with us. It's marketing@vmradio.co.za. That is marketing at vmradio.co.za. Remember, T's and C's do apply. But if you want to get in touch with us on our WhatsApp, it's actually 0745174 4983. Let me just quickly do this, and then when I come back, going straight to double songs.
Voice of the Move Radio would like to welcome you on this adventurous music takeoff. We believe that underground talent is everything, and that is the reason we decided to go 100% local and underground with our playlist. Babize bonke.
I want to search for you.
To come and support your talent, Uyazi numbers don't lie. So 3 packages have been created to grow you as a brand, and YouTube is one of our platforms we are using to broadcast and play your music. Gakoge, la. Each and every artist is required to subscribe on our YouTube channel at Voice on the Move Radio Live and share with all your supporters. If they're dwelling our, they'll show some support. So say, I've seen our packages lapo.
On the golden package, you invite 60 people to subscribe and make your way to our studio music playlist and also our YouTube playlist. You also get a live interview.
On our silver package, invite 30 people to subscribe to the Voice of the Move Radio Live and get your music air-listed on our VM Music Library.
On the platinum package, invite 100 people to subscribe. Uzibeke ethubeni izivele lokuthi uthole ama-live performances, live DJ sessions, live interviews, YouTube playlist, photo shoot, VM radio merchandise. Become the face of 100% local music for a month. Isn't that exciting?
All right, I was just talking about certain things that you need to know just in case you want to get into the taxi industry business. Don't forget that Voice on the Move Radio works very close with the taxi industry. But just a quick reminder that this show is proudly brought to you by Indaba Minibus Taxi Insurance Brokers. For an incredible affordable quote, call them on 031 03, or just simply down www.co.za. License financial services provider 111. Get a code now and see how much you can actually save. So if you're a taxi owner and you've been looking for your taxi's insurance, why not try out Indaba Minibus Taxi Insurance? 42 minutes after 11. Beautiful song from the Billionaires featuring Ovo Kalalu. It's titled Unexpected Love. And after that, KK coming through with New Beginnings. Do enjoy.
Wonder
Never thought it could be. Wanted to start a party. Unexpected love. You and I are never thought it could be. Wanted to start a party. Unexpected
Stay to the scoop wire on the Voice on the Move radio. We the best internet radio. We the best. We the best. The Voice on the Move radio. Is this morning movement?
That's right. Go, 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 go. Right, Mom.
Lalela, iVoice on the Move Radio is going 100% local music. Local artists, let us move together. Catch our live 100% music performance on our YouTube channel at Voice on the Move Radio Live. Click like, subscribe, and share. #original sounds, #welcome to the future.
And now, on the Voice on the Move Radio.
When you get into a taxi, you sit down before you get in.
Just a warning.
Some of the cars here, people are driving without cars. Hey.
With the best internet radio. We the best. The best.
Voice on the Move Radio would like to welcome you on this adventurous music takeoff. We believe that underground talent is everything, and that is the reason we decided to go 100% local and underground with our playlist.
I want to search for you.
To come and support your talent, Yazi numbers don't lie. So 3 packages have been created to grow you as a brand, and YouTube is one of our platforms we are using to broadcast and play your music. Gakoge, la. Each and every artist is required to subscribe on our YouTube channel at Voice on the Move Radio Live and share with all your supporters. If they'll show some support. So it's my packages lapo.
On the golden package, you invite 60 people to subscribe and make your way to our studio music playlist and also our YouTube playlist. You also get a live interview.
On our silver package, invite 30 people to subscribe to the Voice on the Move Radio Live and get your music air-listed on our VM Music Library.
On the platinum package, invite 100 people to subscribe. Uzibeke itubenelinga izivele lokuthi uthole ama live performances, live DJ sessions, live interviews, YouTube playlist, photo shoot, VM radio merchandise. Become the face of 100% local music for a month. Isn't that exciting?
Is it
Morning Movement?
That's right.
Kodwa ngama-centimeter nabafana bayosha mega benco abafana bachanywa kalula babekuthanda bakushele ngebala hayi cathuza mamakhe bekunyawo kolunye kancane intomba ibalama mithi mayihamba kodwa ihamba ngama-centimeter nabafana bayosha mega benco abafana bachanywa kalula babekuthanda bakushele ngebala hayi cathuza mamakhe bekisentimitha ngalinye kekelekeke ntombi wangichama ngempela ish ngithi keleke esonweni makuyicala ngizolifela le ntombi ibala ama-centimeter mayihamba beka ngiyajameka Luhle buyangikhalisa mayidala bheka ngiyathuza thanda indlela ohamba ngayo ngathi uyi-model le ntombi ngayishela ngibona ukuhamba kwayo intomba ibala amamithi mayihamba kodwa ihamba ngama-centimeter nabafana bayosha mega benco abafana bachanywa kalula babekuthanda bakushele ngebala hayi cathuza mamakhe bekunyawo kolunye kancane intomba ibala amamithi mayihamba kodwa ihamba ngama-centimeter nabafana bayosha mega benco abafana bachanywa kalula babekuthanda bakushele ngebala hayi cathuza mamakhe bekisentimitha ngalinye ubuhle bemvelo nabo buyakhothama kuwe xa edlula ngendlela notshani buyethaba yena noma ngena endlini bathi kulaleka jama lichithekile cathuza mamakhe bekunyawo kolunye kancane hayi ungajahi mamakhe bekisentimitha ngalinye intomba ibala amamithi mayihamba kodwa ihamba ngama-centimeter. Abafana bayoshamela bayingcono, abafana bachanywa kalula, babethanda bakushele ngebala. Hayi, athuza mamakhe, bekunyawo kolunye kancane.
One of my personal favorites, beautiful songs of Undumisa, where the tattoos and mama. Just take it easy, walk very slowly. Just walk very slowly. Uthi Undumisa insizwa beyingasheli ngobuhle but zibuke walk. It's 5 minutes away before the midday voice with UVG, the poet, from 12 to 3. And of course, that's one of the D will be taking care of you from the hour of 3 until 6 with the drive on the move. I will be back tomorrow between the hour of 9 and 12, the morning movement show. Just hang in there and load enough data so that you don't miss out on anything. Remember, when we started the show, we talk about just because some things isn't working out for you now, it doesn't mean that they will never ever work out for you. Just remember that if things are not working out for you at this present moment, you've tried, still they're not working out, just know that when the time is right, everything will happen automatically. But let me leave that right there. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Voice of the Move Radio, and you can also just follow me personally. I am Ulondi Dinowakul on Facebook, Ulondi D on all other social media platforms. If you follow me, I'll most definitely follow you back. Remember, if you're looking for an MC, feel free, man, to just come into my DM and let's have a chat about that. How about that, right? All right, let me leave you with a beautiful song from Ovosimkize Kabazela. Kumbulu, we only play local underground and upcoming. So every song that you hear on Voice on the Move Radio, it's something that you've never heard before, that you'll never ever hear anywhere else beside right here on Voice on the Move Radio, of course. So make sure that you do drop your music, studio at vmradio.co.za. That is the studio at vmradio.co.za. Nango Vosimkize uti amatongo. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen.
Just a warning.
You will hear this. Midday Voice.
In the middays every day right here.
Moving mountains is not just the only thing we do to give you the best insurance quote. Talk to our friendly consultant today on 031 012 5223 to switch and save. At Intaba, we understand that every cent is worth saving, and we are happy to move mountains to give you a peace of mind and enough savings in your pocket, knowing that your policy is well taken care of, with benefits like passenger liability, personal accident cover, and more. Follow us on social media at Intaba Insurance Brokers. Email info@intaba-insurance.co.za. Call 031 012 5223. Intaba Financial Service is a licensed service provider with FSP number 47111. Terms and conditions do apply. Premiums are risk profile dependent and reviewed annually based on a risk profile and economic factors.
Yeah, man.
We the best internet radio.
We the best. I guess mhlawumbe ngawukhumbula. I hope uyayithola le ncwadi. Esuka kimi ithumela kuwe. Incwadi kaGod.
Jesu amandla ngisho kuwe nkulunkulu ibhodlela levesi inkelongiswe ngalomzuzu uphela amagama yinhliziyo igcwele inhlungu unini kuthandaza kusuke kusele kuthile ebusuku isizwa phela amandla yake kuthandaza uyiphendula abanye abanika abakutelayo mina ngikhumbula unika italent yelo mbulo mara ngikhumbula enhleki ngiyangabaza ukuthi ukhona ngoba nginaproof nami ngiyayifuna impilo yobukhasikhasi iphathi imali agcwele isiphathi ngithenge yami idigasi kushe yami transikazi iblombe nama-big guns ibona igama lami listed on the pictures ukubhala bilikhulu ngisakunika nje isama maphethe wena on my side ngabathakatha ngisawami nawobuya ngizwa kudala ngikhala unganginaki mambomba isikelemi lowokubhalela le ncwadi umoya wami uqophekile nenhliziyo idabukile ephane golweni ngibhale incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe baba lakho hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la ngale ncwadi kaGodi inqondo yami istakile nale themba seliphelile bese nekorasi khipha incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe vele ngako hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la kule ncwadi kaGodi umoya wami uqovekile nenhliziyo idabukile ephane golweni ngibhale incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe baba lakho hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la ngale ncwadi kaGodi inqondo yami istakile nale themba seliphelile bese nekorasi khipha incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe vele ngako hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la kule ncwadi kaGodi ngiyasibuza ngiyasiphendula enhleki why impilo soa ngisadobha iklipanyana estradini no more ukufela ngaphakathi ngiyosize makuso. What is the use of every dreams makuso? Indlela engihamba ngazo ebusuku kumele engathi ingozi bathi uNkulunkulu usithanda sonke it feels like a joke. Abaningi engibathandayo bathathile left alone. Abazali bami bamuphiso baphendula amadlozi. Yose benini ngiloko ngikhala ungangimameli ngikubona kumnyango empumelelo awuvuleli hloma lomthandaze emasontweni ayisino change. Sabe lotho lemncini Radistan awulahleli. God go us all. Clever for himself. Ixoxe nexoxa lesigcumela sibe flex. Ibhala lencwadi business bond when you get senyayivala ngumntana uma fofiskele. Umoya wami uqovekile nenhliziyo idabukile. Ephane golweni ngibhale incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe baba lakho hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la ngale ncwadi kaGodi inqondo yami istakile nale themba seliphelile bese nekorasi khipha incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe vele ngako hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la kule ncwadi kaGodi umoya wami uqovekile nenhliziyo idabukile ephane golweni ngibhale incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe baba lakho hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la ngale ncwadi kaGodi inqondo yami istakile nale themba seliphelile bese nekorasi khipha incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe vele ngako hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la kule ncwadi kaGodi usoxolela mdali wami lento ngizwa ngaphakathi ngako ngibonda ngalesikhathi incwadi kaGodi inhliziyo igayikosi ngako ngikhuluma ngastop ngicela ngizwe baba msori kule ncwadi kaGodi hayi ukuthi ngiyadelela ngisakwazi ukubekezela indaba inzima nalendlela incwadi kaGodi isicela uvulele indlela ngizokwazi ukubekezela ngizokwazi ukubaculela le ncwadi kaGodi usoxolela mdali wami lento ngizwa ngaphakathi ngako ngibonda ngalesikhathi incwadi kaGodi inhliziyo igayikosi ngako ngikhuluma ngastop ngicela ngizwe baba msori kule ncwadi kaGodi hayi ukuthi ngiyadelela ngisakwazi ukubekezela indaba inzima nalendlela incwadi kaGodi isicela uvulele indlela ngizokwazi ukubekezela ngizokwazi ukubaculela le ncwadi kaGodi umoya wami uqovekile nenhliziyo idabukile ephane golweni ngibhale incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe baba lakho hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la ngale ncwadi kaGodi inqondo yami istakile nale themba seliphelile bese nekorasi khipha incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe vele ngako hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la kule ncwadi kaGodi umoya wami uqovekile nenhliziyo idabukile ephane golweni ngibhale incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe baba lakho hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la ngale ncwadi kaGodi inqondo yami istakile nale themba seliphelile bese nekorasi khipha incwadi kaGodi yesifiso kuwe vele ngako hleze emazulwini ngabe nina ngizwa la kule ncwadi kaGodi.
Mabobu saying incwadi kaGodi on Voice on the Move Radio, the midday voice with Vici the poet from 12 to 3. And then after 3 it will be just one of the day. Right now it was from 9 to 12, it was Lonely Day. Holding it down. As always, today it's with a little bit different. She's a birthday girl today. Happy birthday to her, birthday to her. Yep. Yeah, so khuluma kahle mangiphuma la nje ngizodla ikhekhe angesho ukuthi ngitheni ngodi, right? I hope so. My name is Vici the Poet and this is the Midday Voice on the Voice on the Move Radio. Yep, I've got some tips on how to keep going if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a hustler, with how to keep going on your Monday. I've got some topics for you. I've got your taxi news. I've got what's trending on Twitter at this point. Looking at things, I see something that touches me, something that I like. It's like, let's say I just saw a post, but again, angikho lapho You want to interact? It's on TikTok, it's Voice on the Move Radio. On Facebook, it's Voice on the Move Radio. On YouTube, it's Voice on the Move Radio Live. If you're listening from our website, it's www.vmradio.co.za. Do share that link. Instagram, it's Voice _ Move Radio. You can also catch me as a feature the poet on Instagram, or simply as Vuyakasa on Facebook, right? Giving you nothing but the best of 100% underground music. We're doing it like no other, right? No other in South Africa. We play 100% underground music. And guess what? It's always lit, it's always dope. Yo Kwaito, yo hip hop, yo underground, Afro pop, Afro soul, R&B. Yo, yeah, just open Voice on the Move Radio and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When I went to Apailunginari and Dumiso, up next.
Bambisandla sami, uyimpilo yami, umphefumulo wami uphumula manginawe. Ndlela yami, ngicela uhambe nami, ungumthunzi wami lapho uphumula kwami, uhleli kuwe. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda. Ngifuna wena wedwa sithando sami, nami inkinga zini. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda wena njalo, nami impilo inzima. Ngifuna wena wedwa sithando sami, nami inkinga zini. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda wena njalo, nami impilo inzima.
Kuzofika isikhathi lapho sikhathala khona sizophela amandla. Ngicela ungibuke emehlweni uzobona uthando sekhona uphela ithemba labona. You said you'll be my Superman, I'll be your Lois Lane. You will fight for my world. Think it's time you're my kaleidoscope. Go ukhanyisa umhlaba wami, ubuyisa ithemba lami.
Uthi kimi ngidlala ngawe, uma nginawe awufuni ngibathe.
Ngoba wena uyingubo yami. Come closer love, come closer love. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda.
Funa wena wedwa sithando sami, nami inkinga zini. Wena njalo, nami impilo inzima. Ngifuna wena wedwa sithando sami, nami inkinga zini. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda wena njalo, nami impilo inzima. Ngifuna wena wedwa sithando sami,
Nami inkinga ziningi.
ngizohlala ngikuthanda wena njalo,
nami impilo inzima.
The Voice on the Move Radio. We the best internet radio. We the best. And now on the Voice on the Move Radio.
When you get into a taxi, you sit down before you get in.
Just a warning.
Some of the cars here, people are driving without cars.
We the best internet radio. We the best.
Are you a music producer or a beat maker? Voice on the Move Radio is giving you an experience of a lifetime. Imagine playing all your sounds on our YouTube channel with people watching and dancing to your own beats. Be part of our Saturday show. Hashtag Movement Lifestyle from 3 to 6 p.m. 3 hours of non-stop bangers. Get in touch with us and you could be the next guest DJ on our live sessions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Voice on the Move Radio Live. Comment, like, and share. Don't forget to tell your friends to do the same. Hey, Voice on the Move Radio, where beats are not just heard, but felt. Hashtag welcome to the future.
Dale, PJ, já vi.
why it's a busy corner is the name of the song. Ash is a really busy one, you can tell. Okay, yeah. But yeah, let's get groovy. I think nobody stands still. The music just keeps flowing while everybody's busy with their own thing. But when the song cuts off, you know that they are listening. Let me remind you that this show is brought to you by Intaba Minibus Taxi Insurance. For an incredible affordable code, call 031-012-5223 or visit www.intaba-insurance.co.za. At Intaba, we understand that every cent is worth saving. Intaba is a licensed financial service provider with FSP number 47111. Get a code now to see how much you can save.
We the best internet radio.
We the best. We the best.
Yep, let me remind you, good see, we have officially went 100% local when it comes to our music. As the best internet radio, we believe that talent is underground. That is why we're giving your music a breakthrough and an exceptional chance to be played on our station and guaranteed to make you famous. All you have to do is simple. Email your music to studio@vmradio.co.za. Hashtag welcome to the future. Hashtag original sounds. Here's more on how you can do that to get your music played right here on VM Radio.
Voice on the Move Radio would like to welcome you on this adventurous music takeoff. We believe that underground talent is everything, and that is the reason we decided to go 100% local and underground with our playlist. Babizebonke.
I want to search for you.
To come and support your talent, Yazi numbers don't lie. So 3 packages have been created to grow you as a brand, and YouTube is one of our platforms we are using to broadcast and play your music. Gakoge, la 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 la. Each and every artist is